So Zelensky turned up in London yesterday to ask Rishi Sunak for fighter jets. It's no surprise he came to the UK first, is it? As we seem to be secondary only to the US in funding Ukrainian war efforts, whilst France and Germany and the EU in general have been reticent in nailing their colours to the mast and putting their money where their mouth is. Not for the first time, Britain is expected to bankrupt itself in the name of defending the liberty of the rest of Europe and indeed the world. And no doubt once the British taxpayer has been ground into abject poverty funding this long-term war, that sacrifice will all be brushed under the carpet and will just be smeared with the old label of villainous colonisers again. It's extraordinary that Zelensky thinks the British military in its pitiful state has the fighter jets to give him. Only last week, newspapers were reporting on institutional discrimination against white men in the RAF. So it seems like our armed forces are already fighting their own war against the society-eroding rainbow flag equality mafia. But of course, Rishi can always depend on the taxpayer to fund such vanity projects. With his picture in the paper, glad-handing Zelensky with a big fake grin plastered all over his face, presumably Sunak thinks this is some sort of great PR exercise for him. And perhaps he's right. No doubt the vast swathes of the UK population, who entirely lack a capacity for critical thinking, will keep supporting Britain's involvement in this Russia-Ukraine war, no matter how long it drags on for, and no matter how much further we're all plunged into poverty and degradation because of it, no matter how much this Russia-Ukraine war is used as an excuse for horrific energy prices and subsequent rampant inflation, industrial strikes and civil unrest across the world. Who the hell knows what the reality is anymore? It seems like the main objective of Western nations is to keep this war going as long as possible by giving Ukraine just enough support to hold its own, but not quite enough support to demoralise Putin to the extent that it brings him to the negotiating table. And what support Ukraine is getting, both financially and militarily, seems to be coming entirely from the UK and the US. To end this war, to resuscitate the global economy, to preserve the sovereignty of Ukraine and Western liberty, EU countries need to put their hand a lot deeper in their pockets and stop protecting their own interests at the expense of every other nation, because it's proving to be a self-defeating tactic. Please do like and subscribe and support my content via Patreon or PayPal by following the links below this video.